Listen, this world's not going to get any better. Listen to me. Listen to me. Hear me. It's not going to get any better.
I'm not trying to be cold. It's the reality of my life. It's the reality of a lot of people's lives. And so, yeah, that had to happen for me to be haunted, to pull out, to extract the guy that I am today. That haunting is something that's still there today. Because no matter how much you improve, no matter how much you change who you are, it's not permanent. You don't just wake up and say, oh my God, man, you're David Goggins, you break records, you do this, you do that. People want to know, how are you able to just be so hard? Because I never turned the fucking thing off. Because once it turns off, I go right back to the David Goggins that is. And that's the guy that I'm constantly fighting every day. And it's a choice. And that choice makes you misunderstood. It makes you crazy.
Peace is very precious. It's very precious. It is my most precious thing. And it is the thing which I guard with the most jealousy. And I look at it like it's a treasure here. And I build a wall around it. And you're not breaching that wall. And you're not coming over the wall. Now you can come up to the wall, but when you start coming over that wall to disturb my peace, then we're gonna deal with it. Now there's a door inside, and anybody who's peaceful, anybody who's reasonable, anybody who's logical, they can come in and we can visit and they can say hello. But if they start threatening that treasure there in between us, that peace, they're getting put out and they're not coming back in. These are my boundaries. You can't come in my boundaries. One of the reasons you can't come in my boundaries, because if you do, you're going to take me back to the person that I don't want to be anymore. I can't be that person. And I absolutely refuse to let anyone drag me back to that person. So I set boundaries.
When you do something that you shouldn't do, it's worse than you think. And when you do something that you should do, it's better than you think. And so you think, well, this is why I've been telling people, well, clean up your room. It's like, well, your room is actually networked too. It's not that easy to clean up your room, to set it. So you want your room to be set up so that when you walk in there, it tells you to be better than you generally are. It's organized, it's got direction, everything's in its place. You try to do that in a chaotic household. You know, I've watched people do this because I had students do these sorts of things as assignments. I'd say, look, pick a small moral goal, clean up your room, and just write down what happens as a consequence. So maybe these are students in a chaotic household. The whole place is a bloody mess. No one's taking any responsibility for anything. And so they decide they're going to start to clean up their room. And then the people in the household notice. Well, the first thing they do is get pissed off. It's like, who do you think you are? Like, you think you're better than us? Like, why do you think this is worthwhile? Who died and made you God? All of that. So just by trying to organize this little part of their life, they immediately run into the people whose actions they're casting in a dim light by trying to improve themselves to some degree. They might have to have like a thorough war in their household to be allowed to do something as simple as keep the room orderly. They'll find out very rapidly that A, that's way more difficult than it sounds, and B, that the consequences of it are far more far-reaching than people think. So that's quite fun. You know, because maybe part of it is that like everything around you is full of potential. Everything. Maybe more potential than you could ever possibly utilize. And so maybe all you have is this little rat hole of a room in some rundown place in the world. It's like, fix it up. There's more there than you think. See what happens if you fix it up. And you'll fix yourself up simultaneously because you have to get disciplined in order to fix up the room. And then you have a fixed up room and you'll be a more fixed up person. It's like, you think that nothing will happen as a consequence of that? It's like all hell will break loose as a consequence of that.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you because I know how hard it is to take care of ourselves. You know, I know how hard it is to take care of ourselves. I know that for me, I never wanted to take care of myself because if I took care of myself, then I was doing somebody else's job. Instead, I just always wanted to show you how much I was hurting, you know? And so starting to take care of myself was doing the opposite of that. And it was the opposite of the whole thing that I like, oh, you're going to see, when you look at me, you're going to see how much I hurt, you know? And starting to take care of myself is a total opposite of that. So I hear that in you today, and I'm thankful for that, man. I really am. And I'm grateful that I have moments like this. These are moments that mean something to me, you know? Two guys trying to be honest and not even being gay and just being honest. Because these are moments I never had as a child. There was never any peace in my house. There was never a chance for anybody even to listen or to be heard. There was never even any piece of space to think or to feel. There was no space for that.